All right, we are live. I think I'm using the right stuff here. And bear with me for 1 second, folks. I haven't done one of these in a while. So I want to make sure I'm not sending things to the wrong place. I'm not even sure what this one is. Let me take this one off the list. Yeah, I'm not sure what that is. Okay. What is that? In any event, I am here, and I'm just getting set up, so bear with me for 1 second as we get situated. And I've only got about an hour because I've got a call that I don't want to miss. So we're going to play around. Actually, we're going to play around mostly with this thing first, and then we'll see how all the other stuff comes together. This one actually fascinates me because it is a little magnetic hard drive thing that I think might have some real value. Oh, okay, that's Twitter. That's what that was. Okay, so let me just take that one off the list for now. Okay, we're good. All right, so let me get Amazon going. I'm so rusty on my live streaming that I forgot how to do all this stuff. Partly because I'm getting older. And maybe not necessarily wiser. I had to get glasses. I don't always wear the glasses, but today I am because I can see better with them. And I need to do the vMix social to connect our YouTube thing. And we'll do that. And I think we are on there. All right. So let me just go and get that connected. And then we should be good to go, I think. So how's everybody doing today? I'm doing great, in case you were wondering. Yeah, 79-8089. Then I can start putting up your stuff here. All right, and it's great because all the usual folks are popping in. So we've got William Wilkinson, Cyber Beast. Hey, what happened to my thing? It just died. Hang on a second. Turn it back on. There we go. All right. Cyber Beast is here. There we go. I saw a Cybertruck for the first time the other day. It looks so cool. Kevin is here. James is here. Kevin can hear me, which is great. Patrick is here. Yes, it's been a while. It's been a long time. And who else is joining us? So William got a new job. All right. We used to have a Pizza Hut here. They closed it, which stinks. It's like, you don't appreciate these things until they're gone. Yes, here's what the magnetic hard drive thing will do in real life. We'll offload video to it so we can edit even more. Exactly. Yes, and actually that's exactly where I got it, Trap Exit. I got it on Vine, and I'm like, this thing is exactly what I'm looking for. Although, as I was looking around at all the other stuff that I ordered for this project, I'm not sure it's going to fit now in this cage that I got. So we'll have to see. But I might not need the cage now, because the whole point of getting the cage was to put all this stuff together. But I may have another solution for this. So this might end up working. So why don't we open this thing up first? Because again, I only got about an hour here. Hey, look, it comes with like a little pouch. And let me pull this up on screen here so you can see what it is. Now, I don't think this is a charging adapter, but it does house a hard drive. And I think you have to unscrew the top. So I will do that in a minute. And they don't give you the screwdriver for it, apparently. And then there's two cables that it comes with, depending on the size of the iPhone that you have. So I have the 15 Pro Max. Oh, they do give you the screwdriver. Perfect. Oh, and screws. That just fell out. So why don't we get this going first? Now, the deal with this thing, this is going to attach to the back of my phone, which I happen to have right here. And I've got I have that thing that I reviewed, the Snap Go, whatever they call this thing, the Snap 4 Lux. I love it. And this attaches on top of that. Even better. So I don't have to take it off. So if you have a magnetic or a metal ring on your Android phone, this will work with that also. But I don't think this charges. Let's see. So there's a power input. And I do happen to have power here somewhere. So if I connect power, so that's PD input. Let's make sure that's the right thing. PD 100 watts. And then the host goes in there. Now if I attach it, does it charge? No. I wouldn't think it would. But what it will do is it'll charge when I connect the cable through. Although, we could pop the Snap 4 off. That's what I love about this thing, is that it has this washable adhesive, so you don't have to, your phone stays clean. It's awesome. All right, so let's attach it with the, no charge. So I didn't think it would charge, but I was just curious to see if it might. But it will once we do the rest of it. I will say, though, with the Snap 4 attached, it actually sticks on better, so I think I may leave this on, because it does have a much stronger attachment. One thing with the Snap 4 is that you have to like reassert your adhesive, which I will do here. So the way the Snap 4 works, if you haven't seen these things, is you just kind of push it down, and it's good. And once it's on pretty good. Yeah, now I gotta clean it, but I like this thing a lot. I'm using it a lot more than I thought, because I've never been a pop socket guy, but you can do all this stuff with it. And I did a review of this, so you can check it out. It's not on Amazon yet, but one day it will be, I'm sure. So there you go. Okay, so now, why don't we take it apart, and then we'll start putting it together. Well, that's pretty cool. This one did charging and storage. I would imagine it gets pretty hot. Now, one issue that I ran into with this is that the power requirements on this thing for the hard drive are different. So maybe unique. I don't know. It could just be the iPhone's thing. So apparently, there's a maximum of 4.5 watts that this can support just off of what the phone is delivering to it. All right? And if it goes beyond that, it can't work. So that's that. Ooh, Cyberbeast is getting a tri-motor. Yeah, so here was what happened. I was at the Tesla Service Center in Milford, Connecticut the other day, picking my car up from a little thing that they had to do on it. And as I am walking back to my car to leave, this Cybertruck comes like roaring in. And I guess it was, some guy had an issue with it. He was bringing it in for them to look at it. And man, that thing looks so cool. It looks so different in person. Like I've seen a million pictures of it. I've seen videos of it. But it's such a different vehicle. It's crazy. All right, so let me show you what it looks like inside here. Now, here's what's cool about this thing. This is actually engineered a bit. So what they've got here is a capacitor. And I was reading up on this. This thing has fascinated me more than it should have. The capacitor here will basically keep the hard drive from shutting off should there be a power issue. So if the drive thing here detects that it's not receiving power, what it will do is instruct the drive to clear its cache and write everything out, and the capacitor here will keep it alive long enough for it to shut down. So that's how that works. Pretty cool. So that was one thing that I liked about it, especially if you're in a production environment, because if you do have a power issue, you don't want that to impact things. So thank you, Zach. Thanks for joining us today. And David Bound is here. This is so great that everybody is here that's always here, because I haven't been on in a while. Like I said, I won't be able to stay for too long, so I'm not going to rush here, but I'm going to move a little quicker than usual. And Mark Smith is not a fan of the Cybertruck. This is the thing about the Cybertruck. You can't compare it to anything. So either you like it or you don't like it, right? And I don't have anything against people that don't like it. It is an acquired taste, I would say, for most. Now, why did I go with this hard drive? Well, as I was researching this puck here, that I'll show you what it does in a second, this drive apparently consumes the least amount of power out of all the ones I was looking at. And I'm going to expand upon this in the video that I will do when I finally review this thing, because the issue that I was observing, let me pull this off if it comes off. The issue that I was observing was that many of these NVMe hard drives consume a lot of power. and some of them consume like 8 watts or more. And this one apparently has some variable power consumption to it so that it doesn't consume as much. And that's why I went with the Lexar, in case you were wondering. And they've got a little thermal pad in here also. Now the Lexar, I'm trying to see the, yeah, I think Lexar is owned by the company that makes the flash memory, if I remember correctly. So we're going to put the hard drive in here. And then we just need to get that screwed in here. Oops. It's always hard to work with these little tiny things. I'll zoom this in a little bit so you can see better. And Dana Osler, thank you for the follow on Amazon. We are simulcasting, as always, on Amazon and on YouTube. So the name of this puck, you can see it in the link in the video description, is called the Hagibis Magnetic M2 2230, and this will work with MagSafe. So this is a MagSafe compatible storage option, and this will allow you to just attach this to the back of your phone. And on the iPhone now, you can record video externally, which is a big improvement. And we'll try that out real quick with some ProRes video. Yeah, so if you visit the link in the video description, it'll take you right to it. It's the featured product right now on my Amazon stream. And while you're there, you can follow me. All right, so we're going to put the heat thing on here. And then we're going to find, wherever I put it, the top of the unit. What did I do with it? This is what happens. I go crazy. I start getting excited. Here it is. And then I lose things. And it looks like it's not. There we go. Okay, so now we've got it all sealed up here. And I've just got to screw it back down. Now I do need to format this. I'm assuming exFAT will probably be okay. So I'll probably plug it into my PC first. And Robert Branch is here. Hello there. Yeah, you know, one of the fun things about the Amazon Vine program, which in full disclosure is how I acquired this thing, is that I come across stuff that I would never know existed. And we've been doing those Amazon hauls, and this is a great example of like what you find, or that video was a good example of what you find. There's like a lot of cool stuff out there from no-name brands, but it has some utility. One thing that I really enjoyed from that review, for example, is this thing called the Pin Card Mini. It's this is an AirTag equivalent. It works with Apple's Find My, and it's rechargeable. It's got a Qi charger on it. Isn't that cool? So there's like all these weird, neat things that you encounter on there that I think are cool. Okay, so now I'm actually going to plug it into the iPhone here and just see what happens. I think it needs to get formatted. I don't think the iPhone has a means of formatting a hard drive. But the way this works, just to show you here, is it attaches magnetically to the back of your phone. Now, I've got one of those, oh, it just came off again. I'll just leave it off for now. I have one of these Snap 4 Luxes. This is that Snap thing that I reviewed. This thing's great. They were handing these out at CES, and I have not taken it off my phone. So the way this works is that this attaches to your phone, and then you run so for me, I've got to run the longer cable. So it has a angled cable here. And remember, the iPhone has USB, the new iPhones have USB-C now. That's why this is going to work. And you plug it in there. So now we've got it attached. Now I'm going to unlock my phone, and let's see. I doubt it's going to pick it up because it's not formatted. But let me see if it does work. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. And the reason is that it's got to get formatted. So what I'm going to try first is I'm going to format it for the Mac format. just so that I can be consistent here if we're going to be doing like this Apple routine here. So yeah, so it's not picking it up yet, but I'm not concerned about that because I didn't format it. So we will find out, Mark Smith. I am going to try the Apple format first and see what we get here. So let's plug that in. And we'll allow that to connect. I'm just going to load up disk utility. And I'm just going to format this as, right now it's got no format. I'm going to try first APFS and see if the iPhone can read the drive here. So let's see what happens. All right, it's formatting. And we are good. Okay, so the drive has been formatted. And in the review, I'll do all the testing and see how fast it is and everything. Okay, so we've got that. Let me pop it out. And this thing will probably get a standalone review, and then I'll do the rest of it together. And this was another neat little thing. This is a USB-C hub, because I may want to have power connected, but this thing will do power pass-through. So that's another thing I thought was pretty neat about it. All right, so we're going to attach it to here. Get it right side up. There we go. And if you have a MagSafe phone like I do, it just snaps right in. And we'll align that, and we'll attach the cable. All right, so now we're connected. And let me pop this open real quick and see if it recognizes it now. And it is not. Oh, there it is, I think. Yep, there it is, phone record. So it does, in fact, look like the Apple format will work. So you can see here that it's picked it up in the Files app. So that's cool. So now, let's go over to the camera. Let me just put my phone in Do Not Disturb so I don't get any more phone calls here. Now, what you can do on the iPhone is we can actually record in ProRes. And I've got 73 minutes of recording time now because, let me pull this down, see if I can get some more options going here. ProRes on. Let's see if we can adjust. There's different formats that it can do. So I've got it 4K 60, and I'm just going to hit the record button and let it run here. We'll see if the drive can keep up. Because one of the things that we're looking for here is to see, now that we're recording externally, so we're actually recording onto the external drive, and we want to see here if the drive stops recording due to power constraints. But so far it looks like it is not, so that's a good thing. And I'll hit stop there, and the recording looks good. And let me pause it. Let's go over to the Files app, and let's see if it does get a little warm. I will say that. I can feel but that's okay because you want the heat to go to the outside of it. And sure enough, there it is. Hit the record button. And this is now playing back from what we just recorded. Because one of the things that we're looking for here is to see, now that we're recording externally, so we're actually recording onto the external drive. So that works. We want to see here if now check this out. Here's the other thing that this does. That's awesome. And this was a ProRes 4K 60. So we recorded for, oops, I recorded for 30 seconds, or it was actually less than 30 seconds, and that was 3.75 gigabytes. So that's a lot. And there was a question about whether this would work with the Pixel. It will. I don't know which apps support external drive recording. And what you need, though, is to get something that will allow things to connect magnetically. And I found this thing recently. This is not on Amazon at the moment, unfortunately, but you can get it directly from the company. I reviewed this, so you may want to check it out. It's the OSnap Snap 4 Luxe. And this is all sticky here. And this is a washable, reusable adhesive. And then it attaches magnetically on the iPhone. But on any other phone, when you use it, this is a magnet on the outside. Or it's magnetic compatible, whatever the thing is. It basically makes MagSafe work on any phone. So it works great. And in addition to the magnet thing, you get a little pop socket feature. So check out my review of it, because everybody I've shown this to is like, oh my gosh, I got to have one. Like everyone wants it. Okay, so now the other cool thing with this is that it has a power input that will take 100 watts to answer HT's question. So let's take a look here. It does not have a 3.5 millimeter jack, but it does have pass-through, and the storage is what you put into it. So what I put into it is this one, and the reason I use this one is that it doesn't consume a lot of power. Because if you don't have pass-through power here, and your NVMe that you install into it uses more than 4.5 watts, you have trouble. So there you go. Hey, KP Caprina on Amazon says hi. Hello there. Thanks for stopping by. We're testing out this little puck thing that I think is really cool. All right, so now I've got power that we're going to attach here. Oops. And my phone is charging. Look at that. So when you've got this thing mounted as like a rig, you got your hard drive in here, although is it staying stable here? I hope it stays stable. Let's see. Oh, just popped it off. The magnet could be stronger. I'll give you that. So I think I may use this with my Snap 4 because it does stick on better. So I have power coming in here. Oops. So I have power coming in here, and then the data and the power is going through this cable to the phone. And it seems to be holding up. And we just recorded some 4K ProRes on this, and it seemed to hold up. So that is a good thing. So the question is, can I use a USB-C dock? Let's try it, because I happen to have one here. It's a great question. You know, I should hire you to do to transition these segments, because what we're about to unbox before I have to run here is this Belkin USB-C dock. And that's what this is. And let's see if it works. We're going to get a little crazy with this. So now I got to think this through, though, because this is the power input. Let me think about this for a second. Because that is a power input, and the host connector is here. Oops. So I don't think you would be able to make use of the hub, because this is just for power delivery. But for my purposes here, this actually is all I need for my production rig. I don't even need all this other stuff, because what I've got now is the ability to use external storage with this thing, along with power, so I can keep the phone powered. So I can have a cable running from my battery pack that could keep that going. So, but yes, you can choose the storage location on the Pixel, I think. So that would work. Well, it does not. It won't support a Thunderbolt drive, but it would work on a Thunderbolt-equipped PC for copying data off. And that's what's cool about this, is that when you're done, you just detach it and plug the USB into your computer, and you can get the files off of it. So it's even quicker to transfer stuff over. So let me peel off all the paper here. So I originally had bought this hub because I wanted to be able to, actually, I may still need this now that I think about it. So here's the other problem. So I have an external microphone, external microphone that I want to plug in to this. So we need this to do that. That's right. I forgot about that. All right, so this is not everything I need. So in order for all of this to work, so why don't we try the hub out and see what happens. I don't think it's going to pass through. Let's see. I'm thinking out loud here. So it'd be hard to see on screen, but the hub here has a 100 watt PD input and then these shared ports. Let's take a look and see what happens. Maybe it will work. Let's see. And while this is going, give me a second. I want to go get my I have a one of those DJI mics, and I want to try that just to see what happens. And where did I put it, though, is the question. It might still be in my bag from CES. It is. How about that? All right. And do we have a charge still in this thing? We do. Perfect. Okay. All right. Okay. So let's plan this out here. So now we've got this connected. The question is, where in the chain does the hub come into play? And that is the question. So let's see what it picks up here. Let me peel this sticker off of this thing. And it's funny, you don't find many little USB hubs like this one I have here. This Belkin one is like the only one I could find that really does all these things. All right, so I'm going to unplug this. Oof. It's in there pretty good. There we go. Okay. So we're going to plug in, and I'll zoom the camera out a little bit too. All right, so we're going to plug in the 100 watts of power into the PD port here. And then we're going to connect this up to here. Okay, so let's see if the phone is charging. Okay, the phone is charging. So the power delivery is working. So now the bigger question is, will the microphones work? So let's take out our DJI mic here, and we will use the USB-C connector. It goes in like this. And I'm going to plug this in right here. Oops, what's it saying here? Confirm. Oops, it disconnected. I got to give it a little bit more of a... It's very easy to touch the screen on this, by the way. All right, so let's plug it in here. Okay. All right, so now it's plugged in. We've got the hard drive plugged in, and I've got some mics here. So, test. Okay, so now what we're going to try is we're going to try a different app. The app we're going to try is the Blackmagic Camera app. And the reason why I like the Blackmagic Camera app is that it has a audio meter. Oops. Okay, so right now it's not picking these mics up, which doesn't surprise me. So we've got to go into the settings. Let me just go into here. So let's go to audio, audio source. Okay, so it did not pick up the microphone. And I think the reason it didn't pick it up is because this thing, this port on the side of the storage device is only for power. All right, so now what we need to figure out here is we're going to disconnect. I'm going to disconnect this here. Now, the challenge here is that, let me see what happens with this part here first before we do anything else. Okay, so we're going to disconnect that, and we're going to plug this into the bottom, which will get us charging again. So now we've got this coming off of that. And let me just unlock my phone here. Okay, so now, are you connecting a pair of headphones? Other device, okay. And now what I need to do is connect the hard drive puck to the hub. And presumably the hard drive puck will get more power from this. So that's kind of the unknown here, because I'm going to use a different cable. And that's why I chose the hard drive that I went with. becoming a science experiment, which is what I anticipated. Okay, so now we've got it all connected here. And I'm going to go back to the Blackmagic app. Yeah, so now it's showing me the microphone. So we can do that. And if we go back into the camera app here, and if I tap on the microphone, let's see, tap, tap, tap. Yeah. There's a little bit of lag, but you can see it's picking the audio up from the DJI. Oddly, it's picking up channel 1 at a higher rate than 2, even though I'm passing mono. That's something I'll have to deal with later. But the other thing I can do with this app is, iPhone microphone, I see, so it's switching. I don't know if it's incorporating that or not. The other thing I can do with this app, which is really neat, is that it can record to external storage. And what we have to do is just find where that is. Let's see, upload clips, save clips too. So inside of this app, this is the Blackmagic camera app. There is a media section, and what we can do is actually save the clips to the external hard drive. So let me tap on that real quick. And what you do here, by the way, is click on Files. And when you do, when you do that, it will bring you to your iPhone's file system. And if you tap, this gets really complicated, but if you tap here, we can get to the external drive, which is iPhone Record. And I'll throw it in here. I'll say open. Okay, so now it's recording, it will record everything onto that. And what I could also do is save this as a preset. We'll call this puck, just because I can remember what it is. All right, so now that I've got that saved, it will continue doing that into the future. So now, if we go back to camera, and I hit record, we will record my microphone is picking up my voice. We don't have much of an image here because there's all this stuff in the way, but we are recording onto the hard drive, and I know that because I've got 34 hours of recording, because this is a terabyte. And what's nice about the Blackmagic app is that it lets you record compressed video. So on the default iPhone camera app, you can only do ProRes, these huge files, which makes it easier for editing. You get kind of a, you get an uncompressed, essentially, video file coming out. But for the kind of stuff that I do, probably not necessary. I have the option to record ProRes with the Blackmagic app if I want. But I don't always need to. So now we've been able to get everything working here, and the hard drive is keeping up, which is good. But I think under this scenario, and I'm going to have to write to them and see if I can find them to ask this question. Under this scenario, I don't think the drive is getting power from the hub. I think it's getting, actually, no, it might be. I think it actually might be getting power from the hub. So I will need to do my whole cage scenario, and that, again, creates issues. All right, so let's hit finish recording. So now it's done recording, and if I go to the Files app, and I'll take some questions here in a minute. If I go back to the Files app, we should see, yep, there is the one I just recorded. So here is the file that we just recorded. And I don't hear it because the DJI mic is picking up the audio, but it did record the whole thing. Oops. So, yeah. So it works. So now, how much time do I have? I've got another 20 minutes. So bear with me here. So we're getting there. Yeah, so we have to do the hub and then the puck. And this is my life as we know it. So what happens here is that there's no easy way to do anything. And even the Android phones now, the top-end ones, don't have SD card slots on them. So this is what you have to go through, all of this crazy stuff. So I also picked up this thing. This is the small rig. And what this is designed for, let me check, make sure I'm not missing any Amazon comments here. What this is designed for is it's like a cage to mount all this stuff together. And it's getting complicated. So what would happen would be when I go out on a shoot somewhere, we would kind of mix all this stuff together. And the iPhone, so I have like whatever the minimal iPhone storage is what I have. So what they want you to do is buy the big terabyte phone. So when we were in Las Vegas for CES, we started using the Blackmagic app for a few things, which works great, except the fact that the iPhone manages storage. So this thing's bigger than I thought. Look how big this is. It's like a license plate cover. So the iPhone manages storage for you. So in the course of that, what happens is that when you load the camera app up, even if you don't have the physical storage, it somehow magically makes it available. It deletes things in the background that it can delete. In the Blackmagic app, it doesn't do that. So we ran out of space while we were working on a shoot when we were in Vegas. So now the other question is, geez, how can we even get I guess there's a pass-through for the cable. So I'm guessing I have to eject this properly before I do anything, right? So let me go in to the Files app and eject this. But so far it's coming together. I think this is not bad. I kind of like what this thing is doing. And it looks like there's no eject on, so I can just pull it out because I'm not writing to it, I guess. All right. All right, so I just did that. Now I have to leave this in here. So the question is, can we get the cable? Let's try this here and see what happens. So we're going to put the phone in the cage. And it looks like the phone fits with the cage on it. So it does fit, I think. So we'll see what happens when I close up the cage, which I'm assuming is done with this screw thing. So you can forget about getting phone calls while you have this thing on. Oh, how are we going to get this? I gotta move it over a little bit. Okay, so now the phone is in. And what's nice about this is that it does have a nice hole right in the middle. So I can screw in my little, this is what I was hoping it would do. Yeah, it's kind of a tight, so the only thing here is that it's right on the edge. It's still grabbing it, but it's not obviously as good as it would be otherwise. But I got my little handle here. So as I'm walking around, this is the Manfrotto Pixie. So as I'm walking around here, I can hold the handle on it. So that's what I wanted. Because there's some people that have like handles that go on the side. But what I do is when I'm going to one of these trade shows, a lot of times I'm in New York and I'm just going on my own. So I'm walking around with this thing. But I was seeing all these people with these cages. I'm like, I need a cage like this. So that fits. It does fit. And the gripper has got about 1/3 of the phone in its grip. So it's not likely going to pop out if you keep it tight enough, but obviously not ideal. But I just like the fact that I don't have to mount the drive somewhere else. Now what I also got, I only got one of these, but I got this thing, which is like a little mount for your external drives, which might allow us to mount the hub, I think. This may not work, actually. Well, it might fit, actually, huh? Yeah, this may not work. I may have to find something else to mount to the thing here, but we'll play with this. This is designed for a Samsung T7 drive. Because initially I didn't know this puck that I just got existed. So this is like designed to mount that. So that's what that does there. So I got a bunch of comments coming in here. Yeah, so about 120 bucks, right, between the two. And that's what I did is I got the Lexar drive that I have linked is actually one that the manufacturer recommended because they said that, hang on one second. Because of the power consumption. So some of and I looked at just about all of the other NVMe drives out there as I was researching this, and most of the NVMEs consume more power than the iPhone can support. So they say you should use a drive with 4.5 watts or less, and apparently this Lexar one is the most agreeable to that. So that's why I went with that one. All right, so the good news is the cage works. And the reason why we need the cage is that we need this hub so that all this crap can hang off of it. And I'm still thinking here about what was I about to show you. So we got that in there. I'll probably be able to mount the hub with like a, one of those phone, like a phone mount will work with the hub, I think. I don't think I need this. I may send this back. But, and then Restored wants to know, is it stable? So far, it is very stable here. And the puck, as you can see here, right there, it fits in there. So it's got just enough grip. It will pop out, it will pop out. That's my only concern. So the other option would be to plug a T7 drive into it, which would work. And I've got a bunch of these. You don't have to use this thing. I just kind of like the fact that it mounts magnetically. All right, so we got that all hooked up there. But yeah, it will pop out if you give it enough pressure. Although now I got it tightened up pretty good. You just got to be careful. It has to be a little off center because of the buttons. Now, if I had a case on this phone, forget it. It would not work. But again, I just like that little puck. It's pretty cool. And Cena wants to know, is it a... Yes, I believe it might be. I know other parts of the world use the 24-hour thing. We usually just do AM and PM. Yeah, there you go. I'm going to be marching into New York City with this thing. The good news is there's plenty of room for more phones in the future, so that's cool. Oh yeah, I could do that, right? That's right, James, I could do that. I could stick that MagSafe thing on the outside, and that would... Now, what's cool about this, look at all the mounting points they have on it. So we've got the tripod here plugged into the center hole on the bottom. And that was a bit of a risk on this because I didn't know if it would have that or not. And then you've got all of these shoe mounts. You got one here, 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 and here. These are obviously cold shoes, but you could, anything that you've got with a shoe mount will fit in there. So if you've got lights and stuff, those will pop right in. And the question is, will my USB cable fit through the hole here? It won't. So that's a problem. And this cable is attached to, well, that's a big problem. And some dude that I was watching on YouTube managed to get all this to work. So I don't know how he got his phone plugged in. Unless I go up here. I guess I could do it this way. And then, yeah, that's not going to really fit. It's got to go in straight, and it really can't. Yeah, that's not going to work at all. It's got to go straight through. But it won't fit. All right, that's going to be something. See, it's all the little things that you don't think about. But you know what? If the puck wasn't there, so watch this. Oop, jeez. There it goes again. If the puck wasn't there, it would fit. So we'll plug in the phone without the puck. Well, this stinks. Now I'm disappointed because I was actually excited about the puck, but the puck may not actually be feasible here. So if we screw this back down, yeah, so now the phone sits outside the cage so I can plug the puck in directly. So I think James's solution might be the one to do here, that maybe we put a metal ring on the outside here, stick it to there, and then the puck could stick to that. Because I still like this thing. I think it's really neat, but at least I'd have a place to mount it. Yeah, or we just tape it. You know what's funny? I've run into people that use the DJI Pocket, and at least one person who hated it. He said he couldn't stand it. And part of it is that I think the video quality on the iPhone is the best. Like, you can't get better than that. And I've got a lot of different shooting options. Maybe I should look into it again, but I get all these shooting options. I can get my microphones plugged in without a lot of extra, issues. And I guess I could get an angle adapter. The biggest issue here is that the hub, the cable's connected to the hub, so I can't disconnect it. And when the puck isn't on the phone, as you can see, it can go straight, because the puck actually, the phone sits further back on this thing. And the puck doesn't have to be attached to the phone, but it's pretty cool. All right. Yeah, it is. It's very sturdy. I'm pretty happy with it. It's a solid piece of metal here. So I just have to play around a little bit with a few different scenarios to see how I want to get the whole thing put together. But I like the fact that there's so many different ways you can mount stuff to this. And what's nice, I wasn't sure if it had this or not, but it does. So it's got a nice center hole here for the tripod. And these are just 3 tripod screws right next to each other. So it's solid. So I'm very happy with that. So yeah, good stuff. All right. Well, I got to get ready for my call, everybody. But I just wanted to test all this. So this thing, I'm going to have a review of this up very shortly. And I like it. I just don't like that it doesn't fit on my cage. But if I were to stick something on the back here, so this is my Snap 4, but I could obviously get another ring, and that would work. So maybe I'll do that. So maybe I'll stick a ring to the back of this, and then that would work. So maybe that's what we'll do. Just won't stick to the back of the phone, and that might actually be better for heat too, right? So there you go. All right. So we are, good stuff. So I'm sorry I can't stay longer today. I was actually, I could have started earlier. I thought I had another call at 2, and then it got canceled and moved off to March, and I didn't see the email. So I was waiting for this call to start. And then I look at the email like, oh, geez, it's not happening today. What's up with that? So that happens. So there you go. All right. Sina, thank you for becoming a channel member. Very much appreciate that. Keeps the lights on here. As you all know, YouTube, this business is always unpredictable. Let's just put it that way. So somehow I'm still in business. Let's put it that way. And I'm happy for it, and I appreciate everyone watching, because that's why we're able to stay in business. So thank you all for tuning in. And usually these streams go longer, but today I've got a jet, but I will be back. So to recap, this is a little hard drive that is MagSafe compatible. It sticks onto the back of your phone. See that? And it has, you have to put your own NVMe inside of it. And then what you do is connect it with a cable, this one's the shorter cable, to your phone, and then the drive is accessible. So if you are shooting video with your iPhone, you can record onto a drive externally that's always with you. The only issue we ran into was that if you want to use external microphones that you need to plug into the USB, that just brings more complexity, and therefore you need a hub like this one. So that rolls it out a little bit further, but it's good stuff. So there you go. Oh, wow. So this is awesome. Congratulations, James. I was worried when I saw your daughter in the hospital, but it looks like it's for a great thing. So that's awesome. Well, hopefully everything goes smoothly, and we'll call you Grandpa the next time we see you. That's awesome. All right. Well, there you go. Now you can get one of these and then shoot a lot of video of your new grandchild. How about that? Okay, so we're good. So yeah, be on the lookout for this. I will have a video all about this puck coming up very shortly. It'll probably be the thing I shoot tomorrow morning, because now we know that it works. And I think it's very useful. And again, it's got power pass-through, so you can charge the phone and power the puck if it needs it. And we'll explain all of that on the stream. So there you go. Yeah, I think here's what I think. What would make it better, I totally agree, if they added like an extra USB-C port, maybe 2, so you could plug stuff into it directly, because then I wouldn't need this. I could just use this with a thing, and I'd be good to go. I have a great phone mount. I got to show it to you. I don't have it handy at the moment, but I've got a great phone mount that would work well with this. All right, let me run here and do my call, but I want to thank you all for tuning in, and set your notifications, and follow me on Amazon also. Oh, I'm the Brown is joining us on Amazon, and Blimey is wondering if it works as a heat sink. It is aluminum. I don't know if it would work as a heat sink for the phone. Yeah, actually it does. So it's aluminum on the top, and there's a heat spreader that goes on there. So there you go. And Michael K is here as well. So good stuff. All these things are linked in the video description, so you can check it out there. And thank you all for tuning in. And best wishes to James, 73 to you, sir, who's got a grandchild on the way very shortly. So good stuff. All right, everybody. I will be back before you know it. Have a great afternoon, and I will return before you know it. Bye-bye.